Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. I am Chief Engineer Rever. Is that what I guess I'd be? Railroad Tycoon Rever. And I was watching our system flow for about a little over a year here, about a year and 4 months, something like that. It was October, I think, when I last left you. And things have been running okay. The biggest problem that I actually noticed was that our fuel, like this train is now waiting, which is going to throw off all of our timing because this guy here didn't have stuff ordered to be taken to Des Moines. So, in other words, he sort of stole, in a sense, fuel, like because everything was so well balanced in a way of looking at it. We didn't have, like, even now, we don't have enough oil that for the fuel to Des Moines run, right? Even though they're both going to the same place. And then what happened was this guy ended up getting, look, now see, look, we have no fuel because this guy's sitting here waiting that's scheduled to go to Norfolk. So this scheduling thing is causing us some problems when we're trying to like have this production go to both different places. So what I was thinking of doing in order to correct that is to put a train. This will do two things for us. I'd like to get rid of the cargo between here and here, the road cargo, and have just an oil train that gets crude here, drops off its crude here, picks up whatever oil is available, and then takes it up to here. So I'm hoping that that will at least just sort of flood us with a little bit more fuel oil here at the end, because that's sort of the biggest thing. And if we're doing that, in other words, I don't necessarily have to have them sit here and wait for oil to be delivered, though this should, over time, even itself out, and I don't think it'll be a problem. But I don't think it's going to be bad to eliminate this truck route. Does that make sense? In other words, I think we'll be more efficient with one train than we will with 72 trucks that are all old and in bad condition anyway. So, it's not doing us any great good to have that. So I hope that makes sense. So in order to do that, though, I think, and I pay off the loans whenever I can. So I think we're going to be doing that until we hit a real good streak. So I guess the first thing, we borrowed that money. Hopefully we'll be okay. It won't go right back down. Now this doesn't need to be a real big train at this point. So let's see, what can we should probably make a line. Let's do that first. So a new line that would go from, I renamed that Country View Oil Well because it was confusing me that it was like named after Des Moines. And then it'll come to here next. And then here, could not connect all stations. Why would that be? Because because they can't switch over here. Yeah, so we need to switch over from here to here. All right. Let's try that. Switch over in the middle of the road. Road's a little bit annoying there, isn't it? Yeah. It's too close still. Let's go from here. We should be able to come back. Okay. Does it want to curve very slightly? We need to get rid of this one again. Set our train funny. Let's get this one to attach first, I guess, then. Oh, we got a signal right here. Does that... let's get rid of that signal just to make sure that's not causing us the problem. Now, are you happy, new line? Yes. Now, the other thing we could do is think about what would be better. Like, in other words, this guy's coming into country view 2. Could he go to 1? And will that be better or worse? And then we probably need... I don't think it really will make much difference other than it would let this guy go through. Yeah, I think we'll do it this way. I'm not sure that it's going to make any difference. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, so I think we want to signal here to stop this guy from coming in if there's a train on the track so that this guy can get back out when he's going back and forth. All right, so now let's call this... Country View Crude, because why not? Oh, you know what? I forgot to go look. Thank you for the suggestion. I will... We'll do that one brown, because why not? I forgot to look at... Apparently there's a mod that will let us do whatever color we want, so that I will definitely be looking into that. And then, yeah, I really wish it wouldn't turn things white. That's another comment I got that I fully agree with. I don't know why it needs to turn it white. I guess maybe they think it's more visible. But I don't know. So in any event, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up crude oil here, 100%, and then we're going to go to this west, and we are going to unload the crude oil. Yeah, they spread that out. It makes it a little harder to see which one you're clicking on. And then we're going to load oil, and then we're going to come to this one and unload the oil and just return back to here empty. Alright, so that should be good as long as I clicked on the right ones. And then this one, we'll see about setting this to full and this to full. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems in particular. So, good. Now, do we still have enough money for a train? Of course not. So let's head over. Well, maybe, because we don't need the biggest train. We'll see. If we have to borrow a little more, we will. I should have probably held off on buying it until we... But I guess it doesn't matter. Eventually, we'd either have to borrow or get more income. And we should be okay with income, though we are potentially going to have a problem. So if we added a general, and I'm thinking if we just did 4 of these, that would probably be... pretty good. Yeah, 28 capacity. And yeah, so there we go. So we're quite a bit short. It would really be nice to get at least a train in, because then I wouldn't have to borrow, go way into debt. But I guess we'll just do it for the sake of... Yeah, see, I have to do 3 loads. It did drop back down again, so... It would have been a problem. All right, so we're going to buy this. We're going to set this guy to Country View Crude. And let's make sure he gets out of there. Yep, I can hear him going. So hopefully that helps us. Now, another comment that I got that I don't fully understand. They said I don't have to two-way track. Yeah, I don't have it open right now, but... that I could just do a slip, and I definitely understand that and know that I kind of plan on improving things. Like I wanted this to be two-way because of this exact waiting problem that I'm having. When this guy's coming back, he could be sitting here waiting for crude if it's an issue, and this guy could be in this track. So sometimes it's a matter of like if we're going to double, like here I didn't double track this one, but I was hoping people would be in and out of there. Now, see, this is the problem we have is we don't have a full load. So if one of these guys comes up and waits for oil or fuel, then he's going to clog up everybody else. And then the same thing here. If this guy is waiting, what is he doing? See, and this is the exact problem that we're kind of having. If somebody else comes in at some point, like our crude oil train that's heading this way, oh, he's going to have to go... where is he heading? Yeah, he's going to have to a little bit of a long run because I don't have a track. Sorry, I distracted myself a bit. Like I don't have a track for him to go right over to here, so he'll have to go someplace else first. So see, this is the problem, the exact problem I'm trying to avoid. And part of it is that it's dividing up the oil amongst the different things. So I just want to get more oil flowing. So I'm not going to cut this guy off until our train back and forth is fully established. Now, let's take a look at our rate. Right, so we should compare Country View crude to Rochester crude. So what is our rate? Yeah, see, our rate is pretty darn similar. I'm sorry. Our rate is definitely less. So we might even end up putting another train on here, though I don't think we're necessarily going to need it. And we're going to definitely have to take a look at whether or not we should have these trains like waiting here, but I don't want to get this guy going quite yet until I know that we have, quote, extra fuel up here for each of these runs, like especially these two. Hey, 2 new vehicles are ready. Oh, you know what I can do? Let's do this real quick. We're going to just repay that money until we have something to spend it on. And what I'd like to do... Oh, you know what? I should have looked. Let's go over to here. Is this a new... I wanted to make sure. Buy vehicles. No. See, I'm really waiting for the next horse-drawn carriage here. The next vehicle, the next wagon that we can replace some of these things with. There we go. So now let's talk about the comment I had about the signaling. And everything is working fine right now. And I was thinking about the comment a little bit more in detail. Not that I don't believe it, but the general statement, let's say if we put on this, what people are saying is that having a signal on both sides, like here to here, is certainly a waste because if nothing else, nothing's ever going to cross here, right? So if this guy's going to stop, there's no reason to have a signal here, right? First of all, there's no reason to have this signal anyway. Can we just demolish it from here? That would be kind of nice, especially with the signals. You can't, like, sometimes the signals are a little hard. I get nervous deleting those. So, like, that signal was definitely not needed because there's not even a train that goes that way. But what they're saying is like, say, I think maybe this might be a little bit better of an example. If there's a train that's on this track here, it's going to, and then say there's another train like right behind it, right on its heels. Once the first train goes in and goes through here, the second train's going to come in here and wait, which would block, say, this orange train from going around there. So I think what we would want to do is actually have a signal that's, instead of having this signal here, I'm going to put the next signal like far enough down that it's going to be beyond our longest train, and I'm going to assume they're going to get longer, right? So if we had a signal here, and let's go back and take a look. Oops. Put our lines back on. I hopefully the lines thing helps you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. So now that we have this signal back here, let's go back. I wish when you zoom out, it's good because it shows you these things. But if you go in too far, it doesn't show it as well. So the point is that now the problem, though, is if there's a train here, he's going to wait extra long in this block, right, where the next train that's over here may not go. Does that make sense? So in other words, I'm sure that the answer is always not to get these trains moving, but it's almost like you have to count each track as almost ignore the intersections to a certain degree when it comes to like the outgoing signal. Like, is it better to have this? Well, it sort of depends on which train is behind them, right? So if one of the red or orange trains that go this way is behind them, then it could be, it wouldn't make a difference if you had this signal or not necessarily. But if you had another brown train coming, then that would get the brown or yellow train back out and onto this way that much quicker, right? Because at least he would start pulling up here and get going. But I think at that point, it's also more important to have a signal to get them out of this intersection quicker, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong, in other words, with necessarily having this signal, because it will get this train moving out of this busy area, but it's, you're taking the chance that it's then going to block the orange and red train, if it's, or I guess in this case, the orange train that's coming this way. I know that's all. It sounds confusing to me, and I think I know what I'm saying. But in other words, what I'm going to do is put a signal where I think, the longest train will kind of ever have, and then again, we'll get rid of this one. Right. Yeah, it makes me nervous deleting them. I know I'm going to delete a track one time. So then the same kind of thing here, but in this case, I don't know. Are we better off moving this guy into this block just to get them going, right? Well, it seems like we have, at least for the moment, a fair amount of space for our trains. So what I think I'll do is put one kind of in the middle, and then again, just so they get out of there. Like for now, our trains aren't this long, so until they become longer, I think we are better off with that signal than this one. Right? And then this one's another one coming out. Just get rid of that on the principle of it and see how far. Yeah, same idea. I think we'll put another one over here. And again, that'll just be like, if there is a train that's on this, that wants to come in this way behind this other one, at least he'll get off of the intersection before he stops. Yeah, so we'll come down like here. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And it's all about, is the next train in that next stretch? Yeah, this is a little bit of a waste there, but that's okay. That having these a little bit closer here, I don't think is going to hurt, because it'll just keep, if we do get a few trains in a row backed up. Now, I think we have kind of the same issue over here, don't we? Yeah, where I think we want to get rid of this one. Trains get kind of loud, don't they? We'll go ahead and put another one back up, sort of in the middle, just so that there's a chance that train gets out of the way of this other one. And then probably the same thing. Yeah, say like right here. Cool. And probably the same thing here. Let's just, now that we have our delete tool out, and spin around so we have less chance of deleting track. And then we'll make sure there's some signaling as before. So we'll put this signal a little further away, so we'll clear that if the train's coming the one way. Again, there should be like a train length at least in here. Now our trains are only like this big for now, but they'll get longer and longer as the game goes on. All right, so let's zoom out. Do we have? Yeah, I think again, I don't. Oh, we got this one over here. Yeah, see, I think I'll do the same thing here. Let's spin, get rid of that guy, and this one's coming out this way, so we'll get rid of this guy, and then yeah, that one's, there's one here, so this train can get out this way in case one wants to go that way. And then this one, we could probably do something kind of similar here, right? So where we can get, if a train's coming this way, at least it'll get out of this intersection, hopefully. And then at some point, it's just your track design that if your trains are starting to get longer, see, like this guy just cleared that intersection now, and this, if there was another train behind him, that train could get right over this way. And if there was a train wanted to go this way, right now, the next train would come in that way. So I don't really think we actually made as much as improvement, but I can also understand how, as a general rule, what people were saying is right. Like, I don't know that it really matters in all the situations, but it's certainly not a bad thing to have done. Now let's see what is going on here. Okay. looked like that guy. Oh, it was auto-saved. Like, why is that train stopped? Now, what are you? Are you our new... Yeah, Country View Crude. And see, this is just sort of our problem right now is until these guys get going fully, I think we stand the chance of them... Yeah, and then the question with Country View Crude, we just stand the chance of them sitting here waiting is I think we might just want to just keep this guy flowing through here. Oops. All right, just drop off your crude, grab whatever you can grab, and then get out of everybody else's way. Oh no, you know what? I did the wrong. Not manage vehicle. Yeah, Country View Crude. You know what? We're going to do that. I did the wrong station. We're just going to have him going back and forth. If he doesn't have full loads, we're just going to have to bite the cost bullet because his real job is to make sure this guy has enough fuel and even to some degree make sure there's enough oil here for everybody. Like it's and because we're going to replace this. And that's where we just, as this guy gets situated and settled, we will take a look and see how we can, match this Rochester crude to Country View crude with the rate. So this rate's only 43. This one's 63. Man, see, look, 0 stored. So some of this will have to be ramped up in style. So let's see, is this, how are we doing? Yeah, Norfolk Dell. See, this is, we've really kind of hurt our overall, but Des Moines is getting, oh, this is just a horse line. I'm sorry. I was thinking we were doing something different. I was thinking that was a train line, but yeah, so this one's not doing 100%. Let's go a little wider. See how this guy only has 14. Yeah, so we're really not, we've definitely hurt our efficiency at this point. So I'm hoping that this Country View crude can make up for some of that. Now, the only other thing I wanted to do that I thought of, before the episode and even just right this moment, is the same kind of signaling logic here. Now, another thing I really don't like is this. We have a few bucks. I want to improve this just slightly because it's, I think we can come from like here. All right, and then I guess we'll take it past here. And then we'll bring these together. And then we'll put another signal. That's not how you do signals. Alright, and then let's come over to here. Hey, there we go. Side stakes. Very good. And a horse-drawn carriage. Oh yeah, so this is, we have to watch out for this because they hold different cargoes, so we have to make sure we buy the right one. Yeah, so having the signal there, I don't know that we should delete it, but I think having this signal here is the same reason we'll have the problem. We don't really want them stopping there. Let's probably get rid of both of those signals. Get rid of that one. And I really don't want that train stopping there because he's going to block the road. Like I think we'll be okay if one stopped here, though I don't think that signal is really necessary. So let's just come back, kind of put one 3/4 of the way up there. All right, so that if a train can clear that intersection and not stop in here, so the trains that are coming back and forth can do that. Now, yeah, and then we'll do the same thing with this guy. This guy. Now, yeah, that's actually okay because I think if there's a train waiting to get in here, that's probably it's because there's a train in this station, so he can wait here hopefully, and then the next train will just have to here. If we start getting a jam up because there's too many trains waiting in this station, then we need to consider another rail line, another track for waiting cargo there. And then the other thing I want to do is make sure, we have a signal kind of close enough so that if there's a train waiting here, they should wait until they get out. So I kind of like this too, because if there is a train here, it sort of lets another one stage right there, and then we can get the next one up this way. Good. I think that's again, I don't know that we really actually improved that much, to be quite honest, because we just weren't having a problem, right? But like I said, I definitely hear you, and I understand the issue and the reason for the comment. So and I don't disagree with it, and I don't know that what we did is that much better, but that's okay too. It doesn't, we don't have any trains jammed up at this point, and at some point we'll have to make sure of that. So let's take another look at our lines and see. I'm most curious about this Norfolk crude and how he's going to do, and is he really going to help? And then, do we put another train on that? It seems like an awful lot. But the fact that he's coming out here, see, this is what I'm worried about now. What are you? So you're the Norfolk fuel oil. And is there enough? Yeah, so he's still waiting, so hopefully he gets filled up. When it was simpler and all the oil was going to one place or the other, they didn't have to sit there and wait. So I'm thinking now that we have, how much did that? Oh, we have another bigger train, but I don't really want to. Let's take a look. And you know what I want to do? Rochester, Norfolk crude, no, Country View crude. Yeah, does it tell us? No, don't dispose. Yeah, does it? If we just click this. Yeah, it doesn't ask us. I kind of wish it would tell you if you hovered there how much it was going to cost you. Okay, well, guess what? Now we have another train on that line, which I'm kind of okay with, though I think that might be a bit of a waste. But I do like the idea of them being, plenty of oil flowing back and forth before we start canceling this. So let me pause it for a minute, and I'll just let some time run forward. And then we'll see about deleting all of this stuff. Once I'll just see if we can't get it to the point where we are a little bit more comfortable with both of those crude, the Country View crude flowing back and forth and around, and then we'll come right back. Otherwise, the other thing to do, and that'll let some money build up because we can come in here and take a look at what we're doing with this. And see if that's at all efficient as far as these vehicles go. We're not building up with crude, so I'm wondering. I don't want vehicles to be leaving empty from here, in other words. So we'll see what happens. All right, I will talk to you guys in a few minutes. Let me let some time pass. We'll build up a little bit more money, and then we'll also just see how our crude line is doing. And I promise not to do anything else besides just keep an eye on things. Okay, see you in a minute. Well, once again, I was more or less sitting in my helicopter watching how things are going here, and not going as well as I would like. I'm hoping that things correct themselves. I'm really not liking this system of shipments with one line versus the other. If we look at this station here, now Rochester Fuel takes stuff all the way down to by Norfolk, and then it gets processed. But these two lines here are going back and forth from the same thing, and you can see we're picking up better here a little bit, but I don't understand why so much oil wants to go to Rochester Fuel Oil. So now we do have 3 lines at this point, so I never noticed that. You would think, look, we have more trains picking up here, but they're there's less of it. So I'm hoping that this balances itself out, but I got tired of waiting, and I wanted to get on with the episode and get a couple other things done. Now that we got a few extra bucks, we could have taken out a loan, but wanted to give this a chance. Now, oh look, we got a ship and a stagecoach and a passenger car. Well, we're not quite ready for that. Now we could go off in that direction, but not for this episode. Oh, look at that, we got $1 million. Good, so let's go spend some money here while we have it. So similar kind of thing is happening here where it's not balancing out very well for this Norfolk fuel line. So I think for the moment, and I've been doing this like manually, we're at Rochester Fuel here. So I wanted to come in here and just set this to, you know what, grab whatever you want. I don't want these guys to get, there's 2 trains going back and forth. I don't want them to get too out of time with each other. So I think we'll just do that. Now they will wait for their oil down here, but when they get up to here, they'll just, which they're not really even waiting because they got plenty of oil there. So yeah, this combining different lines to go to the same thing is definitely difficult. Now look, all of a sudden this is down to 149, but that's probably because this train, yeah, see this train just came through. This Rochester Fuel picked up all of its oil and then off he went. But what I want to do, I don't think there's any particular reason at this point that we would want even this depot. And I'm thinking what we should do is before these vehicles get in here, sell them. And we're just going to get rid of each one. I guess probably the easiest way is to come in here, and this is Norfolk crude. Right? Rochester branch, no, not Norfolk. Rochester crude, right? And then that's line manager. Rochester crude. Can we sell the vehicles? Right? Yes. All right. So now let's go back to the line manager. Hopefully we sold the right ones. Yeah, get rid of that line. And then we'll come into our bulldoze tool. And we're just going to bulldoze all of this. Part of me hates to do it, but things that we kind of just built. But there we go. So now all of our crude oil should be coming via these trains. Now keep in mind that any of the trains that are coming from down here or from Rochester, the fuel trains, are also dumping off fuel here. So I'm hoping that, oops, let's get rid of that. Yeah, don't want to be destroying everything. So hopefully everything that we have here is good to go, so to speak, as far as, you know, these trains here that are going from here on this Country View line, the Country View crude, are just dropping off. So I'm not sure. Hopefully that'll make this line a little more profitable and we cut out a bunch of road expense. I guess, can we look at, yeah, I guess once you get rid of a line, you really can't look at it. That's sort of a weakness, like in the history. Like we can't really see how well that line was doing. Might have been smart just to keep it there just for the sake of it. But we have a rate of 79, which is well over the 60. And if this would balance out, I think we'd be fine. Yeah, see now the Norfolk train, this is, yeah, Country View just dropped off something. But then this Norfolk train has relatively little. Now I think it's getting better. Now the Des Moines is really going up. And maybe that's because we don't have as many trains. Is it, you know, this is just a matter of being patient and ramping it all up? I think it is. And there's another crude train. But see, he's only got 3 oil because, you know, we're doing a good job of picking that up. And it just keeps wanting to put more and more to this Rochester oil. I was hoping it would send more to that crude train, which would be more to here. Now, again, does that balance out? It certainly seems like it should. But we're going to have to see over time if this was a wise move. I don't think it's hurting us. But we'll see what happens now that we deleted this, because that's sort of another thing to worry about. But if nothing else, we got our signals, I think, slightly better. Not that we were having a particular problem, but there we go. We have 2 trains. Are they going to get there at about the same time? and they're going to cross paths. So which one's this? This is Des Moines fuel. So, and then this one is, this should be one of the Norfolk, no, Rochester. Yeah, so this is actually a good example of two trains. Well, this guy's going to get here first and probably get right out of there. There we go. Look, we got three trains coming together. Do they flow smoothly? See, this one will get stopped if he hits that signal before this guy gets off of that track. Yep, he stopped. See that? But now that he's... Oh, but he stopped because this guy was crossing too. So that's good. I mean, that's kind of perfect. I mean, the one train had to stop, but at least two of the three kept going. And yeah, I haven't had any traffic jam, so to speak. And what I'll probably do in between the episodes is just give it a little time for this to balance out. Is this the Des Moines train, I hope? No, another country view. It'd say he's only got 4 oil on there, so it's just a matter, is this, which one's this? This is the Des Moines one here, dropping off his load of crude oil. And is he going to pick up very much? Let's see, what do we have? Yeah, see, even he didn't get a full load either. So it's because this Rochester train just keeps demanding all of the oil, and I don't think there's any way that we can tune that down. Yeah, we don't want to configure the construction. So we'll just have to see. Now maybe, is there a side of the track thing? Like this side of the track is getting less, but I don't know. They should just put more over here. So we'll see. At least for now, we'll make sure that this guy kind of has plenty of, crude. And then eventually, if this one keeps backing up here, where we got 74 for Des Moines, I'd consider putting another train. Let's do one last thing. It's not something I've actually done before in Transport Fever 2. Is I'd like to come down here and let's click on this. Actually, let's just do Manage Vehicles. Norfolk fuel delivery. And yeah, so we're going to replace the selected vehicles. And this guy does all cargo. This guy, yeah, he holds 5 and does all cargo. This guy does do fuel. Now, is there any advantage between these two? No. Looks like all the numbers are the same. I don't know. Let's make this wider so we can see that. No, they both cost the same amount. They're both good for 20 years. They both go the same speed. They both carry the same amount. They both have the same emissions, the same build date, lifespan. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it makes more sense to me. You'd have side stakes. Yep, so that won't cost us too much. So that should also increase our rate, even though I'm not sure that that's exactly what we needed. We could consider... Yeah, Norfolk Crude, what are you doing? Okay, so we have this other line, Norfolk Crude, that we could manage the vehicles. And let's select them all. Replace. All right, yep, we can get crude in there. There we go. Now, I don't know that there's any financial advantage to doing that, but we will be able to haul more crude oil because these guys can do 5, so at least it was a 25% improvement. All right, now it doesn't look like we really need a 25% improvement. What does this guy have? Yeah, so now, I guess it won't hurt. Yeah, we do, because we got 200, so we'll be getting a little bit more crude oil down into here for having done that. And again, like I said, I don't think there's any great financial thing. Let's look at our new little... Yeah, cool. What do they look like full? Nice. Looks like he's got 8 barrels on there. What is this? This guy has 4 or 5. Is it just a graphic thing? Okay, I'd probably replace them before they... Like this guy should have 5 or 5, right? And the graphic doesn't look, oh, geez, doesn't look any different there. Okay, well, cool. All right, well, they're improved. Again, I'm not sure that we needed it, and our Norfolk oil has been struggling a little bit. If we come here, it's actually kind of gone down because of what we did with Des Moines there. So I'm hoping this balances out before the end of the next episode. I think what I'd like to do is just pay off a little bit of money when the thing comes up, right? Just to make sure that we're not, getting into too much debt there. It didn't look like that number went down, did it? Maybe I was at 8 million. I don't know. All right, in any event. So I'm going to play some time forward in between the episodes, and I'm going to record them back to back because I'm kind of late with getting this one out. You may have noticed. And I will be back in the next episode, and hopefully we'll have balanced this out. We'll have a few more bucks. And I won't, again, like normal, I won't do too much or anything in between the episodes, but I just really want to see this get at least to a steady state. I don't mind not knowing what I'm doing, but as long as we're learning from our mistakes, we're doing better. Yeah, see, this is up to 172 again, and these are limited. Yeah, well, if you have any suggestions about that, I'd be happy to hear about them. So, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you sometime soon. Take care. Bye-bye.